You're listening to From Find to Fabulous podcast, where we explore energy, mindset, spirituality, and all things woo. I'm Michelle, here with Dylan and Wright, and together we are on this journey with all of you to transform our lives from mundane to magical. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hey, Michelle.
Good
Dylan.
to see
How
you
are
again. Doing great. Ready for another episode?
I'm ready.
I sure am. There was no
Excited
traffic.
for today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no traffic today coming down here.
It was very smooth.
Saved a couple dollars.
Nice.
About 20 minutes.
So it's already starting off with a win.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. So if I say to you this phrase, tell me what you think this means to you. Energy equals the potential for success.
E equals MC squared. Right?
Well, E equals PFS.
What?
Potential for success.
Oh, okay. E equals PFS. I actually like that. That could be a t-shirt. I believe that keeping a positive energy around you, because you get what you put out into the universe. So if you're putting out negativity, then you're not going to be successful. But if you put out positivity and like always forward thinking energy, then I just feel like better things happen.
That's good. I like that.
What about you, right?
I don't know. I was thinking, can I have a positive energy if I have a negative mindset? And I kind of came to the conclusion that probably not.
That's interesting.
I was trying to think in my head, how would I make that work? So I think my mindset has a lot to do with the energy that I put out. So, maintaining a positive outlook on things, and maybe not like a happy-go-lucky energy, but more of a subtle things will be okay energy, even if they're not right now. If that makes sense.
Does that propel you towards success?
I
feel like having just a positive energy in general attracts good things from the universe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's looking at the big picture. I think I'm looking more at the smaller picture of if I have a positive attitude and I'm putting out positive energy, kind of what you said, you kind of get what you put out type of thing, then I have better chances of being successful. But success could look differently, different for multiple people. So maybe I need to change my definition of what success looks like.
Well, don't you think that success can be different for everybody? You just said it. Your success could be defined as, a super high paying job, whereas your success could be a fantastic relationship.
Mm.
I mean, success can be defined in probably an infinite number of ways for different people.
For sure.
Like if I drive home safely, that's a success.
Yes.
A small win.
Yes.
Or like if I'm walking and I miss the Lego, that's a success. Like I didn't step on it.
Oh, yeah. That's a real success.
That's a big success.
Stepping on the Lego. Ouch.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So it sounds to me like both of you have a belief about you having an energy field or putting out a energy into the world.
Yeah, I mean, I believe if you exude negativity, you're probably going to get that in return.
I believe the same thing too. I used it not, but the more I look into it, the more even if it wasn't an energy perspective, just framing your mind in the right way just makes living life easier.
That's a good perspective. I like that.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to think about it.
Sometimes I look at people that are what I would think is being negative, and then I think, maybe a little bit like, what is the reason they're acting that way? I don't think of them as a bad person necessarily. I just think, all right, well, maybe they just don't have the best outlook on things right now for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Or what can I do to maybe ease that a little bit? But I don't know. I guess back to success. I think success is different for me every time.
Yes, and even in the example you just gave, you said if someone seems to be putting out kind of a negative energy, it doesn't make them a bad person, but how can I interact with them in a way that's going to be more successful, right? So that's definitely a success if you can communicate with that person in a way that is more favorable rather than everybody going in the negative route, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
So what if I told you that based on what we were just talking about, that there's two kinds of energy, and your energy is either working for you or against you?
Uh-oh.
Do you believe that?
Well, I would say the good positivity energy is working for me, but I can see the negative energy working against me, because if I frame it in a way where negativity just has me stuck on the negativity, then I'm stuck in the universe. Like, I can't move forward. So I guess coming up with a solution to that would be the way forward.
I think keyword you just said was stuck.
Stuck, yeah.
Because if we
It's
think
like
about it,
ruminate on all the things you can't like control, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because if you think about it, we all have things that are going on in our lives that probably send us on a roller coaster of energy at any different time throughout the day, right?
Yeah.
Things happen. So we could have had a great interaction with somebody. We could have had a positive thing happen at work. We could have had a conflict with a coworker. We could have gotten a flat tire. We could have, like, all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our energy goes up and down, but the key word stuck is how long do you stay in that energy where you know it's not helping you and it's not working for you. So your energy that you are putting out is created by your thoughts and your beliefs, and your thoughts and your beliefs about yourself, about your situation, about the world, about any number of things that you are coming up in your day against, right? Interaction with. So the key for creating the energy that you prefer is being aware of your thoughts. Because when we are thinking these things that are what we're calling negative, and we get stuck there, for how long? So the longer you are there, probably the more things that you really don't desire you're going to experience.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I think I used to linger in the stuck area without realizing that's why I was stuck. And then, taking a step back in those moments, or learning those techniques where it's like, okay, I'm frustrated, something's going on. Let me breathe and think. It's like meditating almost. And then you can formulate a plan to move past it, or realize that whatever you were worried about is just really dumb anyways. It's nothing to be worried about. That happens a lot.
We've had a couple of those times. So what about, you said there's two types of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that maybe there's one type of energy and we put meaning to it, if that makes sense?
Well,
like it's neither good or bad.
Well,
It's just
yes, energy is energy.
Okay.
Right? But you can choose by your thoughts and your beliefs on whether the type of energy that you're experiencing is dragging you down, or if it's propelling you forward. If it's creating, positive interactions that you want to experience, or if it's creating hard, struggly interactions.
And I can see that working in the sense of I kind of want to surround myself with people that are in that positive space, if you will, because I feel like that kind of rubs off on me.
Absolutely. Because here's a good phrase. Like energy attracts like energy.
Yeah. I've heard you say that a couple
Yeah.
times.
Because, and think about it. Have you ever walked into a room, even if it's a meeting at work or a party or whatever, and the minute you walk in, like you can sense that there's something going down in there that you can just feel it?
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You can walk in and feel like, woo, this is a great place to be. I feel like I'm on top of the world in here.
Yeah.
Right? And it's because everybody's energy is intermingling, interacting, absorbing with each other, repelling each other. So you can tell what the energy is by the way it feels. Right?
Yeah, I like that.
So for people out there that this is new to, and you haven't thought about this before or heard conversations about this topic, I'm going to give you some thoughts and emotions that you might experience that would be clues or an awareness that you may be experiencing energy that is working against you.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have thoughts like, I lose, I'm a loser, I hate myself, I have no choice, I don't matter, I'm not valued. So if you can ever think of a time when you were experiencing something and those thoughts were in your head, some emotions that you may feel when you're thinking those things is guilt, self-doubt, hopelessness, powerlessness, worry, shame, anxiety, fear, embarrassment, depression, sorrow. So those kinds of emotions may come up when you are having those types of thoughts in your head. Now remember, the result of that is going to depend on how long you stay in those thoughts, because we all experience a thought like that here and there. But if we stay in it and we get stuck in it for too long, that's where it changes our
path,
projection, our path, where we're going, right? So the result of those thoughts and emotions would look like lack of action, right? Not taking any action on something, maybe lack of confidence, not expressing your feelings or opinions, being avoidant of confrontations or situations or people or any kind of avoidance, taking things personally, which
easy to do.
Very we all do it. We all do all of these things, from time to time. We find ourselves mostly working in crisis mode, just trying to put out the fires, survival mode, right? And we're focused on the problems.
I don't like that.
Well, from what we just said, that probably doesn't feel very good.
No.
Right?
Well, now you can say, I love that.
Yeah, right. And in literally an instant, just doing that actually flips all that, right? Just being able to, it's like having a tool set.
Yes.
And picking out which tool you need to get through whichever like emotion or whatever's got you stuck.
Yes.
So, and that's all mindset, because I remember being young and adults telling me like, just get over it.
Yes.
And that would make me so mad. I'd just be like, you don't get it. But then later, it turns out you just stop being upset and it works.
Maybe you worked through it.
Yeah.
Maybe you allowed the emotion to be there. Some people don't allow it to work through them. They just suppress it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't allow it to work through them. I've heard, and I am no expert, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that it takes 60 to 90 seconds for an emotion to work through you and do its thing and move out.
Oh.
Whereas if you suppress it, it keeps coming back over and over and over and over again and keeping you in that stuck place because you're afraid to feel it.
Is it kind of like putting your head in the sand?
Yeah.
Just maybe it'll go away if I don't acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Or I don't want to feel it because I don't want to feel the pain.
Yeah. I can
So
see that
you
too.
do things like distract yourself. And distraction can look like scrolling on social media. It could be drinking, could be drugs, could be gambling, shopping.
I like
I
shopping.
mean, I know you love shopping. It could be many different things, right? Most of us, when we are feeling uncomfortable, we do something to distract ourselves at some time or another in life. And so the more we distract ourselves, we're not really dealing with
the issue,
the thought, the emotion. And again, that keeps us stuck in this pattern. Thereby, my energy is working against me. It's not going to propel me to go out and, create something new in the world and, be a big success.
Succeed, yeah.
It's going to keep me in those feelings of, I have no choice. Nothing ever works out for me, and you just are kind of lethargic. Lack of taking any action.
Yeah, I was, I can't remember exactly. I think there was a time where I actually liked being in that mind space. I think I enjoyed, like, it was kind of like I was used to it. So it was comfortable.
Comfort zone. Mm-hmm.
And like thinking differently was not really an option, or at least I didn't think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean.
And what are the benefits? Think about that. What are the benefits that you got out of being in that mindset, in that space? Because there are benefits to it.
I don't feel like I was like stressed out because I knew what was going to happen.
Afraid of the unknown.
I wasn't anxious because I knew what I knew, And so I think making that change and changing my mindset or being open to it was more anxiety ridden than doing what I was already doing.
Yeah, as Dylan said, fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
You didn't have the tool.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Not at the time.
Yeah,
No.
because you didn't know what you didn't know.
Exactly. I just knew that I was struggling and had to make a change of some sort. So I was willing to make that choice, which, I don't regret now, but
it's probably hard to do back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And think about it too. Probably when you were in that space, you got some sympathy from people. You probably had people doing things for you. And you didn't have to take accountability for anything in those moments. So it was easier to just stay in your comfort zone, right?
Yeah. In my head, it was working out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, because my gut was telling me that there's something off.
Mm-hmm. And that whole time, the world is just progressing and you're just stuck. Right?
Yeah, it was kind of like what we talked about. It was a week ago or a couple of weeks ago about the guides. Whenever you know something in your gut, it doesn't feel good. Or if it does feel good, you're kind of on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of one of those moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good example. So phrases that you may say, and this is for people who don't quite yet have the awareness, because remember, the first thing is awareness. Once you have the awareness, you can start making changes if you choose to, right? So some of the phrases you might hear yourself say, or you could even recognize this in someone else. I can't do this. Why even bother? No one appreciates what I do around here. I'm so worried about fill in the blank. Is it Friday yet? Every option is lose-lose. So those are phrases that you might associate or come up with or say or hear someone say who is experiencing this energy level. And then there's other ones too, that the next level is, I would say that we were just talking about is level 1. So that's kind of the lowest. And then a little bit of a step up is still energy that's working against you, but it's a little bit higher level than the one we were just talking about.
Like higher as in better for you.
getting closer to getting towards that energy that would actually help propel you.
So
And-
1 is the lowest, and you count up to get happier
Yes.
or more
Yes.
at peace.
More, a higher frequency, basically.
Up to 10?
Okay.
Yes, 7.
Oh, it's a
7.
frequency. Okay.
Up
Okay.
to 7.
Cool.
Okay, so if we talk about level 2, some of the thoughts that you might have is, I win, you lose. I'm right, you're wrong. I hate you. I know better than you because. And the emotions that are associated with some of those thoughts are hatred, resentment, blame, greed, pride, discord, being argumentative. And the results of that type of thinking and feeling is you're focusing on others. You're stressed. You may have disappointment, resistance, frustration, struggle, force, control, being antagonistic, feeling entitled, entitlement, righteousness. And some of the phrases that may be associated that you may hear yourself say if you are the one experiencing this energy, or maybe someone else in your life has experienced this energy. If I want it done, I have to do it myself. Calling others incompetent or lazy. No one meets my expectations. My actions are justified.
I feel personally
because-
attacked.
I was going to say, I think Dylan's a level 1.
Yeah. Wright keeps pointing at me every single one of these, and I kind of agree. I honestly
Okay.
kind of agree.
Okay, well then this is level 2.
Okay.
But that's okay, because that's okay. We all experience this at some time or another. And again, it matters how long you stay there.
Mhm.
And if you know that experiencing these things or responding or reacting in these ways to things are working against you and keeping you from the success that you truly desire, and you're aware of it and you can catch yourself doing it, then you have the option to make a different choice,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
It's the not being aware keeps you in the same.
Yeah. I was
Feel.
also pointing at myself because I'm aware,
Yeah, and I just want to help you out by
acknowledging
you
it.
aware.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely more aware of.
Yeah, I think talking about these phrases really helps people like hone in on, oh my gosh, yes, I hear myself
I call
saying
people
that.
incompetent like a lot.
And
You may, maybe they're not incompetent. Maybe
maybe it's
it's me.
your perception.
Maybe I'm incompetent.
I don't know about that, but
Let's
you know,
go.
it makes you think of like, why am I calling that person incompetent?
Because they did a bad job on whatever they were supposed to do. That's how I look
or
at
you
it.
think they did.
That's your judgment of it.
Okay.
And being judgmental
Mm.
works against you.
But it is
Okay.
also kind of fun.
But
I
like
mean,
if you call somebody over to build your fence
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, okay, it's done, and you go out there and that fence is unlevel, like uneven, it looks like crap, different colored boards.
well, that's
Are you
different.
gonna let that guy leave? Or are you
But
gonna call
You
him
don't have to
incompetent?
just accept that. You can say that this job is not what I paid for or not what I'm going to pay for. And you may have to get a supervisor involved or whatever, right? And get the quality workmanship that you're paying for.
But that worker is incompetent.
Maybe
Or stupid or something.
in that moment.
And then I would look at the company that hired them and be like, did you guys even do a background check on this person? Like, what are y'all doing? So now me saying all that, that's negative energy, right?
Yes.
So instead,
I don't know
I
how you
should-
would turn that around though.
I just,
mean,
yeah.
If they
This
if
is
they
a
did it-
very random scenario
remember,
too. This is very random.
But remember, we all experience this at some point or another.
Yeah.
If you express that you are not pleased with the quality of the workmanship that was performed, and you have a conversation with the supervisor or with the company or whatever, and they will come out and check and agree, and they create a new version of the fence that's more acceptable to the quality that's expected on their part and your part.
Yeah.
And now you move on with life and you let it go and you move on. Or you can stay ruminating on how that darn person was so incompetent that they screwed up your fence and now you are playing it over and over and over and over and over. That's an issue, right? But if you can express and have a conversation without calling them out and saying, that person's so stupid. Why'd you hire them like that? They're so incompetent. They shouldn't be in this job. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And on and on. That's a different thing.
That's my go-to reaction still.
And that's very normal.
Yeah.
It is for most people. These two things that we've just been talking about, level 1 and 2, are most people's fallback reaction to things.
Because it's comfortable.
It's what we know.
Used to it.
Yes.
I can build a fence better than that guy.
Well, you could.
All right, let's talk about a few more phrases for our listeners who
Yes.
can help identify them if they. So what did we stopped with? No one meets my expectations. We said that one.
Mm-hmm.
My actions are justified. It's not my fault. It's yours. Making my numbers is all that matters to me. It's all about winning. I don't trust others. You could be condescending. You could be bossy.
Mm.
Highly judgmental, defensive, micromanager of things. So all of those things, if you stay in that for too long, works against you. If you're in it, you realize it, you switch to a more pleasant conversation with somebody, but still getting the point across your dissatisfaction with the fence and you want it repaired to the quality that you expect for the dollars that you're spending, it's a whole different thing, right? But if you go down the rabbit hole of calling the guy names and telling the company how dumb they are and how worthless they are and all of that, and you put it out there on social media and you tell everybody you know and you bring it up for the next 5 years to everybody you talk about, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. I know some people like that.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to. I catch myself sometimes.
And that's the key, the awareness. Because once you're aware, you can make a different choice.
Right.
To not stay in that place. Now, knowing that this is creating an energy about you that is not going to propel you to the success that you desire. And that success can be in any area of your life. How much money you want to make, what job you want to land, what kind of relationship you want to be in with friends, with family, with a partner, with whatever. Because like energy attracts like energy. So if you're in that energy and that's what you're putting out, you're going to get that back. So imagine his example of the fence guy. If you go screaming and yelling and being condescending and whatever, what response do you believe you're going to get back from that company?
A negative response.
Probably not
a
one
low
that you
energy.
want. But if you go in with a more positive, let's have a conversation. This is what I'm seeing. I'm paying for this and I would expect to see a better quality. I'm sure you could agree that this unevenness here is not up to par for your company. You know, those kinds of tones and conversations is a whole different way. And then what do you would expect you would get back from that company then with that conversation?
Better service.
Yeah, willingness to
maybe
make it.
even a discount.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
you know,
Willingness to
Yeah.
fix the issue.
Yeah.
A
That's-
discount.
Yeah. Like we have brains to be able to be aware, and I feel like it's a disservice to go through life and not think about these things, because then you're living your whole life, I feel like, subpar. You could be more successful using these tools. But if you never know about them, or you never meet somebody like Michelle who starts talking about this stuff to you and kind of opening up your eyes to it, then yeah, I don't know, you could be stuck forever.
Right, because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly, yeah.
And so until you become aware of it, you usually don't make a new choice.
You stay in the same patterns.
Yeah, and like Wright said, in your comfort zone. That's
Comfort
what
zone,
you
yeah.
know, right? And what's outside of your comfort zone is the unknown, and sometimes that's really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the negative energy is kind of tight and balled up, and the good energy, if you will, is kind of like open and flowing.
And
Yeah.
expansive.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
progressive and accepting, versus the negative energy is very walled off and bitter.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Hmm.
I like that view of it. So what do you think? Do you think this is going to be helpful
Yeah. Yeah, I
for
like that.
awareness, for making different choices on, what you want to receive
Yeah.
in different situations, and helping propel yourself to what you ultimately desire?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of times we're just in reaction mode, right? Something happens and we react and we go to our normal,
Yeah.
whatever we're used to reacting.
Our default.
Yes, exactly. And if we can stop, take a moment, think about it, and say, okay, well, what do I truly desire in this moment? How am I going to get that? If I say these things, what am I going to expect to get back from that? But if I say these things, what am I going to expect to receive in return?
Yeah.
Then that can change the whole dynamic of your outlook on that, whatever the situation is.
That was good.
Okay, so I think we are going to wrap it up with that. Would you guys like to pull a card for today?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I love
If it has
pulling
anything
cards.
to do with the power going out, like it did right when we were about to start,
Oh my God.
then I'm going to be weirded out.
We did have a power glitch right before we started, so yes, that would be interesting. Okay, today I'm going to pull from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed, and it is we'll see what the spirit animals would like to tell us today. What guidance do they have for us?
This is always fun.
We got Antelope Spirit. Life is speeding up. Card number 2. It actually came in the upside down.
So does it mean the opposite?
So I'm gonna read the message out of the little booklet for the upside down version of the card. So that message is: do you feel how fast the world is changing? Like everything is moving at warp speed? It's hard to control desired outcomes or set fixed goals because by the time you get there, you will actually have moved beyond it. Now is the time to let go and enjoy the exhilarating ride as intentions you have set in motion in the past are coming into form with lightning speed. Your job is to stay the course, even if the pace feels dizzying. You may find you will change your mind a half dozen times or more as you improve your offerings, and that is just fine. Make peace with the pace, for if you ride this quickening energy, you will solve challenges quickly and effortlessly instead of being bogged down. The best way to use this energy is to let go of worry and stay mindfully present as you continue to take action. Also, if something is not going to be in your best interest, no matter how badly you want it, Antelope will quickly remove it so you can move forward with what is truly meant for you. If something is taken away, be grateful and keep moving. This is not the time to sit still, but to breathe deeply as you move forward with velocity.
That's very good.
I think that it was very interesting how we were just talking about how we have the choice to either stay in the energy of not moving or use our thoughts and our emotions and the way we communicate with people and things like that to propel us forward.
Mm-hmm.
And Antelope Spirit is telling us it's time to move forward with high velocity.
fast. Let's move fast.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I
That
like
was
it.
quite interesting. I'm a fan.
All right. Well, I guess that's a wrap for today.
Yeah, that was so fun. Thank you for all that information.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm glad we talked about those things.
Yeah.
I hope it's helpful, and I hope our listeners can find a little nugget in there that will help them as well. That is the goal.
Well,
all right.
I'll see you next
until
time.
next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We are truly grateful for each of you. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to follow us on whatever platform you are listening. If you're listening on a podcast platform, please consider leaving a review. If you're listening on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're alerted when new episodes are released. Please also leave comments. We would love to know what you think. You can also share this with someone that you think might enjoy our content. Any interaction with the channel truly helps it grow. You can also email us at michelle@fromfinetofab.com, and that's Michelle with 2 L's. Until next time, be fabulous.